It's now time for Ermanni and Edwards with Maz, live on the Woodward Sports Network. Every day, 2 to 4 p.m. Starring Ryan Ermanni, Michigan great and former NFL baller Braylon Edwards, and of course, Tom Mazaway. Let's talk some sports.
To win on the road in this environment when there were doubts. Sharon, what does it mean to you?
I want to thank the Lord. I want to thank Coach Harbaugh. Fucking love you, man. Love the shit out of you, man. Did this for you. For this university, the president, our AD. We got the best players, best university, best alumni in the country. Love you guys. These fucking guys right here. These guys right here, man. These guys did it. These guys did it, man. Talk to him, man. Love you.
Thank you, Coach.
Every week is different, and you don't know what it's going to take to win the game. We did what we had to do to win the game. That's what good teams do. No matter what, man, I get it. Do not ever feel bad or this or that about a win, man. They're too hard to come by. You earn that win. No matter what you say, you earn that win. And we will accept it, all right? All I've got is 2 game balls. All right, I got 2. Give me the first one. Riley Patterson. Yes, sir! What's the next one? This guy's a fucking rock, man. He does everything for us. He's an offensive player. Run game, pass game, third down. What do you need? He does it. He runs the ball, Mr. St. Brown.
Let's go. Bring it in. Hey, fourth quarter victory. Win on 3, 1, 2, 3.
Hey, let's go! Monday show, November 13, 2023. Ermanni and Edwards with Maz. Woodward Sports Network, woodwardsports.com, fox2detroit.com if you're watching live or the Fox local app. If you're watching on YouTube, thanks so much. Hit the subscribe button and, of course, hit the like button as well. Braylon Edwards, what a weekend of football it was. Good afternoon to you, my friend.
Great weekend of football was for the state of Michigan. Detroit Lions get the win. Michigan gets the win. We'll talk about that, obviously. But I just want to start with the opening, if that's quick. Maz, how you doing over there? How was your weekend? Sorry.
It was great. It was great. My teams won.
And there it is.
My wife's not talking to me, but my team's won.
You know what? I'll take that.
All right.
I will actually take that.
It's a good trade-off.
100%. The first clip you saw was Sharon Moore, who's crying, and he's been facing a lot of backlash from people. A lot of people taking shots at him, saying he should have been crying on national TV. I'm not a crier of sports, so I wouldn't have cried, in that moment. But I pushed back because the same Spartan fans that are going after Sharon Moore, the same fans around the state that love Dan Campbell, please remember 2 years ago he cried at the podium too, and you couldn't love Dan Campbell any more than you do now. I think for Sharon Moore, a lot was going on, obviously, with Jim Harbaugh, the institution. But Sharon Moore was the first black head coach at the University of Michigan to coach a game. The first ever. Like, this is something that Mike Hart wanted to be. This is something a lot of other people wanted to be. So if his emotions in that moment, because of everything, he beat Penn State, number 10 ranked team, he's the first black coach. If his emotions took him to crying, then so be it. And I'll leave it at that.
I loved it. I loved Sharon Moore's post-game interview. I loved Dan Campbell's locker room celebration. Look, we're going to hit everything today, right? I mean, we're going to go through the Lions game. We're going to go through the Michigan game, what Jim Harbaugh said today. We'll have reaction and all that stuff. But I do want to start with the Detroit Lions. And we're going to go through the game, but I want to start with what happened after Riley Patterson made the kick. And it was a 41-38 Detroit Lions win. They go on the road and they win a game. I think a lot of people, at least half Lions fans, had them pegged for losing this one on the road. Yeah. So they go out there and it felt like they stole one. They got one. They came home with a W. After that kick, Tony Romo and Jim Nantz
Hello, friends.
start talking about those Lions. And Tony Romo says this is the team that can win the Super Bowl. Jim Nantz goes on to say, I think these Lions are for real, and you can't rule out a number 1 seed. We may see them in Las Vegas. Las Vegas is the site of Super Bowl 58. Let's just start with those 2 pieces.
Yeah, I loved it.
Because each game is unique to its own week, right? You do what you have to do to win on that particular week. If you were waiting to buy into this team until they did something maybe that blew you away, what does it need? What needs to happen, I guess, for you to be a believer in this team if you weren't a believer yet? What needs to happen? Did they do enough on that field yesterday to make you believe that this team not only is good enough to win the NFC North Division Championship, Braylon, but the NFC Championship and the Super Bowl?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, you saw them. That game was just at the end of the day in the NFL, when you're going on the road, when you're playing teams, NFL is hard to win. It doesn't matter who you're playing against. It's going to be tough to win, especially when you're going on the road and you're playing against guys that are that talented as Keenan Allen or Justin Herbert or Joey Bosa and freaking Derwin James. But to get that win, to respond every time in the way that they did, to play in unison. And keep in mind, this is the first time that all these guys have been on the field at the same time. So to get a win at SoFi on the road, take over that stadium, which is a away game for the Chargers anyway, that says a lot about where the Lions are going to be. I thought for Ben Johnson in the offense, I thought it was going to take them some time to kind of be able to get into the groove and understand the offense with all the pieces being together. I was wrong. And it looked really good by the Detroit Lions, and I agree. I think in terms of buying in, everybody is going to push the goalpost back on the Detroit Lions with everything. You beat the Chiefs, oh, this person didn't play. It's like, oh, you won 6, you're 6-1, well, you lost to the Ravens. It's always going to be a goalpost back. The Lions go 17-0, Ryan Ermanni, and you know what people will say? Well, they haven't won a playoff game since 1991. For the Detroit Lions, the goalpost will already move back. Good thing the Lions inside Allen Park, good thing they don't pay attention.
I'll tell you guys, that first half, I was smiling from ear to ear. I never saw a half like that of Lions football. Should have been 31, right? They got stopped at the 1-yard line. 24 points in the first half on the road. That's freaking great. The defense started to fold up in the second quarter, and they gave up that late touchdown. And then the third quarter, they came out not bad. That's their worst quarter of you know that. But they're getting better. Third quarter, they won that third quarter as well. And the way they finished that game was phenomenal. The first play when they got the ball back after the Chargers tied it up at 38, the first play to Khalif Raymond, they fake right and they throw left. He's wide open. Do you see Ben Johnson running down the sidelines with him? Ben Johnson running down the sidelines, windmill running right with him. Phenomenal play, great start. And you know what? 4th down and was it 1 or 2 at the end of that game?
2.
Yeah, 2.
I knew they were not going to kick it, and I was perfectly fine knowing that they were going to get it and keep the ball. Because at that point, they could not give the ball back to the Chargers. Phenomenal, great game. Great freaking game. They did everything you needed. They came back after a bye. They won on the West Coast, and they put another great victory together. They won it in a shootout. You want to play hard, like Ryan said? We'll play hard. You want to play in a shootout? We'll play in a shootout. No defensive coordinator against this team knows what the hell this team is going to do.
No,
they do not know what this team is going to throw at them.
And Maz, especially now, and we mentioned this all week, Braylon, this was going to be the first time you saw Ben Johnson in this Lions offense with all of their weapons at their disposal.
Yeah.
Amon-Ra, J-Mo, Montgomery, Gibbs, Laporta, Reynolds, everybody's involved
Brock Wright
in the game. Brock Wright's involved in the game, and all they do is put up 533 yards of total offense in this game. They convert 4 of 5 fourth downs, 4 of 5 fourth down conversions, and this offense seems to be unstoppable, and it was. And I'm not sure you can give Dan Campbell enough credit for that decision at the end of the game not to kick the field goal and take the lead. And give Justin Herbert and the Chargers the ball with over a minute to go when their defense couldn't stop a nosebleed at that point. But what do? You make the best part of your team go win that game for you, and the best part of this team is the offense, and they responded each and every time they were asked to respond.
Yeah, they did, man. And that's been Jared Goff and the Detroit Lions on offense. That's been all year, man. Every time there's something, Jared Goff seems to respond, and the Lions offense seems to respond. Excuse me. But just watching that game yesterday, man, you got Jared Goff, you got Jahmyr Gibbs, you got David Montgomery. The cool thing to see in that game yesterday was when you have all your pieces, how good it can look. Now, we know every game isn't going to be 333 and 260, but you have that potential. It's going to be fun to watch, man. It's kind of like watching Tony Pollard this year in terms of Jahmyr Gibbs. Like watching Tony Pollard versus last year when he had Zeke in the backfield.
Big time.
David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs together, oh, man, it's hammer and nails. It's thunder and lightning.
Let me say something. This is the way they did that was amazing. And then Steve Wildes writes, and don't forget the Chargers defense is awful. Steve, they had 8 sacks against the Jets on Monday night. They're not awful. They got all pros on that team. All pros. And the Lions did what they had to do. The only thing that upsets me, 0 sacks. The only thing that makes me happy again, 0 sacks against us. Jared Goff wasn't touched.
Yeah.
He wasn't touched. Penei Sewell dominated that game.
And you talk about Joey Bosa and Derwin James on the other side.
Yep.
Khalil Mack.
Dominated.
That is, look, you put so many of your resources into your offensive line for games like this. And again, to have Jared Goff never go down one time.
He didn't touch him.
Just shows you what he can do. And for a moment, we'll talk about the running game and we'll talk about the receivers and Ben Johnson and Dan Campbell. How about Jared freaking Goff? What more does this guy have to do to make you a believer that this might be your quarterback of the future? 23 of 33 for 333 yards and 2 touchdowns. He was tremendous.
Definitely was tremendous out there. I mean, he was finding Amon-Ra St. Brown. He was finding Sam Laporta. He was finding Brock Wright. It didn't matter who was in the game. Jared Goff was going to deliver that pass, and he just looked poised. He looked calm. This is the same Jared Goff that we saw in 2017 when he made it to the Super Bowl behind that great offensive line, and they had a great system in play. Kept him clean, and when you keep Jared Goff clean, his play action is the best in the league. First downs, he has the most 30-yard throws, 20-yard throws. Man. He's just playing at a high level, but like you said, it's the offensive line that gets that thing going. We also talk about David Montgomery being back. Remember what it looked like when David Montgomery was there, and then remember what it looked like when he wasn't. So having David Montgomery, Jahmyr Gibbs, that offensive line, Jared Goff's having a lot of fun, and I think his confidence is now going to another level where it's no longer confidence. It's no longer, I can do this. I might mess around and be cold at this.
And you talk about that run game, too, and we'll stick with that next. How would Ben Johnson divvy up the backfield a little bit? You had Jahmyr Gibbs with 14 carries. You had David Montgomery with 12 carries. 26 carries between the two of them, essentially split evenly. And David Montgomery, of course, the 75-yard touchdown run where he tight-roped the sidelines. But my goodness, 12 carries, 116 yards, and a touchdown. He was tremendous.
Don't forget J-Mo's block.
Oh, man,
he'll get to that in just a little bit.
How about David Montgomery speeding that play? We spent so much time talking about
where did
Jahmyr
that
Gibbs.
come from?
David Montgomery's like, no, I can run too. I may not be as fast, but I can run.
We'll do that next, but first a message from Dispo.
Your local plug, Dispo Romeo, now open till... Oh, we're doing this is the Dispo Hazel Park one. Free turkeys, first 100 customers starting noon, Tuesday, November 21st. I myself will be there.
Turkeys
Dispo
and weed?
Hazel. Hey, you got to eat, right? You got to eat. Dispo Hazel Park, 9 Mile in Hazel Park. It's going to be a good event. Come on down. Free turkeys for the first 100 customers. Check us out.
We've just received word. The world's cannabis supply has vanished. The public is outraged and has taken to the streets in response to this tragedy. The individual responsible acted alone, and we can only hope they will make things right soon.
Join Woodward Sports' own Jeff Iafrate, along with special WSN guests for the most anticipated Lions season in decades. Filled with different surprises and expert analysis. You're not going to want to miss out. Go to our Woodward Sports YouTube channel on Sundays and tune in live from 9:30 to 11:30 a.m.
When buying or selling real estate, flexibility and control over the sales process is key. Sellers, how would you like the freedom of canceling your listing agreement at any time for any reason with no penalty at all? That is exactly what Mark White and Associates is offering. It's called their minute-by-minute listing agreement by Mark White and Associates. Try Mark White's risk-free minute-to-minute listing agreement today. Looking to buy or sell real estate, visit markwhitesells.com or call 248-290-8242. That number again, 248-290-8242, markwhitesells.com, where flexibility meets success.
Yeah, it was a good run. I think there wouldn't have been anything without the O-line and the wide receivers, but definitely, like, I want to highlight J-Mo. You know, that's the second time this year where I've had a long run, and J-Mo's been there to lead the way. That takes a lot of humility, too, for him to be who he is, and knowing he's a playmaker for him to, you know, be able to run and go block for me, you know, and it also shows how fast he is, too, because I was running as fast as I was, and he was jogging, and he still managed to be better for me. So I'm a little hurt about that, but I'll just suppress those feelings later.
And that was David Montgomery talking about the block that Jamison Williams threw for him, where he sprung him free in the 75-yard touchdown run. Nolan Bianchi with that cut on X that he posted. So we want to give him credit for that. I will say, one, as you mentioned, Brett, I did not know that David Montgomery had that kind of speed. I thought he was more of a thunder guy when it comes to thunder and lightning, but he did tightrope that sideline. And Jamison Williams again with a block. And this is, you know, you talk about this Lions team, Bray.
Yeah.
Jamison Williams celebrated that touchdown about as much as if he threw, if he ran that his own touchdown. And he had a touchdown taken away from him as well, too, on a BS penalty call. I think it was against Lewan, maybe.
It was.
For a low block, chop block. But
Taylor Decker.
Taylor Decker. Taylor Decker.
We like
but
both.
It's just one after the next. It just seems like his comfort level in the offense is coming up. And again, I think you do have to highlight that aspect of it. He caught a big pass for a first down.
Yep.
He caught a touchdown pass where he made a play and he threw the block. That is a completely different element if he's coming along like this each and every week.
Yeah, 100%. Like, when you're looking at Jamison Williams, like, if he's dropping passes and then his body energy isn't the same, where his body language is, or he's tuned out, or he's down on himself, and then he's not showing effort on the running plays, or he's not showing effort when he's the backside of a play and probably not going to get the pass. Like, if he's doing that, then that's one thing, and that's somebody that you're going to have to keep an eye on because it's probably not going to work. But when you got a guy blocking for the running backs down the field all the time, when the guy's out there giving effort, the guy's out there celebrating, this is a guy that's going to be something special. That run blocking by him, it's great, because what's going to happen is the running backs are going to have to pick up blitzes so that the wide receiver can catch passes too. So it works in unison. You sell out for me, I'll sell out for you. That's what team is all about.
Bray, we played some sound from him on Friday, and we spoke about this kid. I really like this kid. Great demeanor. He looks like just a sweet guy.
Yeah.
He is. Yeah. He is going to be special. I'm telling you. Brad Holmes drafted this kid. He moved up for his talent in Alabama. We all know what he did at Alabama. Braylon could speak about it. He always does. But the way this kid is, for everything that's happened to him, all the naysayers, including myself, poking at him, saying, he's not going to work out. It's not going to work out. This kid, he's got it. Once he gets everything put together, there's no stopping this team except health. That's it. No team will stop him except health.
You know what's interesting about Jameson Williams, let's stay here for a second, Maz, is Brad Holmes, when you are interviewing, or when you're coming out, when you're getting drafted, you interview with the coaches, you interview with these teams. These teams have a chance to sit down with you, see what type of young man you are, and get a chance to see outside of the football field if you're an individual that they like. And so they went through this process with him. They vetted him. They saw that they liked him on and off the field, and that's why they moved up 20 places to draft him. The more you know about somebody, then you can finally start judging him. I think a lot of Lions fans early on was like, you drafted him, he's hurt, he's not around. People thought that he was
said
it. Yep, people were upset when he got drafted. He looked like he was upset. It was like, well, if he doesn't want to be here, so that already you're thinking that. Then he doesn't play last year. Then he only plays a couple plays. Then this season, it's the betting. It's always something. So people already had a negative connotation on who Jameson Williams was. But now you're starting to see the energy. Now you're starting to see how much he cares about the teammates, the joy. You're starting to see the effort. You're starting to see he's feeling confident more and more and more. Brad Holmes didn't make a mistake on Jameson Williams. It just takes time. He's starting to open up as a player with the Detroit Lions.
So one of the reasons why we're talking about Jameson Williams is because of the block he threw on the David Montgomery touchdown. David Montgomery gave him credit for that. Also, I want you to hear from Amon-Ra St. Brown to talk about how Jared Goff actually audibled out of the play and called this play perfectly at the line. Here you go.
Well, even on that one that David had, the 75-yard touchdown, I think, we were in the wrong personnel. It was supposed to be 12, and we were in 11, and so we called the play. I was like, I don't know what I'm doing on this play. Like, I'm not supposed to be in. So I look at Jared, he checks it. He's like, you know what, let's just check it to a run. Everyone relax. He checks it, and David goes for 75 yards. So it just shows you the ability that we have as an offense. I mean, we can explode at any point, and that's what I think that's why I'm so excited to be a part of this team, because there's guys on, every level that can make plays.
That was a check run? That was a check play?
Yeah. So it was a completely different play to start the play. And we were in the wrong personnel, so I was like, I don't know what to do on this play, because it was supposed to be a tight end. Yeah. But we were in 11, so I was the third receiver. And he's like, let's just check it. We'll just check it to a run that we do all the time. One of our just base runs, and ended up popping for 75, and that's really why I was super excited. I mean, obviously, David and everyone, but for us to do that in that situation, just to check to a regular run and score was huge.
I mean, how freaking great is that?
Yeah.
Broken play.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm doing out here. It's just we're in 11 personnel. We should be in 12. I don't know what the play is. Okay, I got you. Base run, 75 yards, touchdown.
Ben Johnson called that in last second to Jared Goff.
It is incredible.
Yeah.
That's one of the things. Now you talk about quarterbacks. Are they a quarterback you can win because of, or quarterbacks you can win with? When you got guys making right audibles in situations like that, not panicking, and then it turns into a 75-yard touchdown, he's starting to show you that he's somebody that you can win because of and with at the same time. So it was good to see that check. I'm glad I got that. It's funny, though, this play's happening. People are like, what do you mean you didn't know the play? Man, when you have your set plays, everybody has their set plays on what they run every week in practice. And if you get in the game and it's somebody else's plays, that is the reaction that you might have.
I'll tell you this much, too, guys. Amon-Ra St. Brown is quick. Like, we take him for granted.
He's an elite company.
I take Amon-Ra St. Brown for granted. 8 receptions, 156 yards, and a touchdown. Produced his 4th straight 100-yard receiving game. He's just the 3rd Lion to log 4 straight 100-yard receiving games in a single season. The only 2 Lions to do that, a guy by the name of Calvin Johnson and Herman Moore. He has more career receptions than Jamar Chase, Jalen Waddle, and Devontae Smith. Those are receivers that were taken ahead of him, and by a wide margin. I mean, you look at Devontae Smith and Jalen Waddle especially, almost, 20% more catches?
Yeah. They get the longer
than
ones.
those guys. Now, Jamar Chase notwithstanding, I think Jamar Chase is elite. But I'm telling you, and so is, look, they're all great.
Yeah.
Okay? They're all great. But if you had to do it all over again, I'd take my guy. I would just be fine with my guy. Amon-Ra St. Brown is doing things we have not seen in Lions history before, and if we have seen them, they've only been done by Calvin Johnson.
The thing with Amon-Ra St. Brown, or a lot of times guys that get drafted later, Ryan Ermanni, in the 5th round or in the 4th round or in the 6th round, I don't know why I went out of order there. They come in with a different attitude. They come in with the chip on their shoulder. You hear about Draymond Green naming every player in the NBA drafted before him. Amon-Ra St. Brown knows every wide receiver that was drafted before him. You get drafted late, you have that chip on your shoulder because you believe you're just as good as these people, if not better. You just didn't get the right situation. So those guys study, those guys work hard. And a lot of times those guys in the first round, or those guys like that, they have super talent. But they may not work as hard as Amon-Ra St. Brown. They may not work as hard as Juice Landry. Juice Landry out of LSU that played for the Cleveland Browns, he was drafted in the 6th round, had the worst combine ever. But he had, after the first 4 years, more yards than Odell, more touchdowns than Odell, more anybody in that class. It's because you're going to prove to your school, yourself, and that team, you know what, they messed up. And that's what you see Amon-Ra St. Brown. He gets better every week. Like, he legitimately doesn't have weak points in his game. Now, he may not be able to take the top off, but outside of that, he can run block. He literally, underneath routes, literally, he just does it all. He's catching everything. Like, he's not going to drop anything.
Caught 8 out of 9 yesterday.
Amon-Ra St. Brown is that type of player that you can build around, and he's a damn good leader too.
I just love that kid, man.
Yeah.
I just love the way this team has been put together. I'm beside myself. I'm like on cloud 9. I really am.
You know what you just said, man? It's a team.
Yeah.
Like,
you see how they all stick up for each other?
Every time you interview one about something, they're mentioning somebody else. Like, you can interview Jamison Williams, say, hey, man, you had a big catch on 3rd down. Well, that's because Jared Goff did this. And if you see what David Montgomery, you had a 75-yard run. Did you see Jamison Williams block? It doesn't happen without that. Everybody points the finger to their teammate when they're getting credit. That's dangerous in a good way.
He's 7th in yards. By Thanksgiving, he'll have over 1,000 yards receiving on the season. By Thanksgiving.
And he missed a game.
With 5 games left?
Yeah.
He missed a game.
And he missed a game.
Forgot about that.
So he's 10th in receptions this year. He is 7th in yards. Where is he in touchdowns? Touchdowns.
He's probably not that high.
What is he, 5? 5 touchdowns?
He's got 4 touchdowns. So either way, what do we say? 8 touchdowns for the season, maybe? He's right,
be over
right on pace for that. I mean,
and they're not empty stats.
Right.
Like,
that's a great point.
They're not empty stats. A lot of times guys have those empty stats where they got all these yards and all this other stuff. Team is losing or they're out of it.
I almost feel like Puka Nacua has empty stats.
There you go.
A little bit. You know what I mean?
They are empty stats. They're good for him, but they're not good for the team because they're not winning. Amon-Ra St. Brown, they are not empty stats. Everything matters, and they are now 7-2.
Guys, coming up next, more on this offense. You'll hear from Jared Goff. You'll hear from Dan Campbell being aggressive. Did you agree with it going 4th and 2 at the end of the game there? I want your take on that. Also, we'll get to Michigan top of the hour. It is a hell of a Monday, a victory Monday here in the city of Detroit. We'll do that next. But first, a message from Planet Fitness.
Yes, Planet Fitness is your home of the judgment-free zone where anyone, and I do mean anyone, can feel comfortable and work on their fitness goals. At Planet Fitness, you'll experience a squeaky clean gym with tons of equipment, a full body workout in just 30 minutes, and all memberships include fitness training. You get all this just for $10 a month with no commitment. No matter where you are, there's a Planet Fitness nearby with more than 50 in the Metro Detroit area and thousands more throughout the world. Visit your local Planet Fitness today to join or check them out online as always at planetfitness.com.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
Now, coming to Woodward Sports. Woodward and Main Street. The Woodward Sports Network Detroit Lions Show. Let's go! Catch Gabrielle D. Phillips, Matt Broder, and Terry Foster for all the latest news on your Detroit Lions every week. Only on the Woodward Sports Network YouTube channel and woodwardsports.com.
Your home is your most important asset. Flexibility in the sales process is key. When you work with Mark White & Associates, you can cancel at any time, for any reason, without penalty. Speaking of flexibility, check this out. Who you work with matters. Hire the best broker in the game.
Hey guys, when it comes to your pet, you do not want to settle. Give your pet the best. Premier Pet Supply, hands down Michigan's best pet store. Family owned and operated for over 30 years. Over 13 Metro Detroit locations, and more are coming, by the way. Over 60 brands of food at the lowest prices available and curbside delivery if you need it. It's Premier Pet Supply. Give your pet the best. Check them out online at premierpetsupply.com.
He continues to make plays. And I've said it before, I've said it again. I mean, he is the most steady, reliable guy that you can find in this league. I mean, I'd love to know somebody that is more reliable than him, because I don't know if there is. So he just does what he's supposed to do times 10, and he's productive. He's tough. He's physical. He's a game-changing type player. And it's just, the bigger the moment, the bigger he shows up.
It does feel like that. And that was Dan Campbell talking about Amon-Ra St. Brown, just to put a bow on the conversation about number 14 for the Detroit Lions. Amon-Ra had another monster day yesterday. 8 catches, 156 yards, and a touchdown. And he's just all over the field. And if the ball is thrown his way, he's going to catch it. We always talk about the best ability is availability, and who is more reliable on the Lions offense than Amon-Ra St. Brown. He just continues to get it done each and every time.
That's one thing about this offense that's really good this year. And speaking of Amon-Ra St. Brown, Maz, might be a good time to bring up Troy Frable out of Pennsylvania. Finally got his Amon-Ra St. Brown jersey. So we appreciate you. Sorry it took so long.
He proud.
Got your Amon-Ra St. Brown jersey, and he played well. But when this offense is complete, Ryan, when everybody's playing, when everybody's out there, David Montgomery, Jahmyr Gibbs, now that we know what Jahmyr Gibbs can do, and it seems like Ben Johnson has the pulse on that, are you ever nervous throughout the whole game? Like the whole game when I watched the Detroit Lions, I just believe they're going to get every first down. I believe they're going to score 29 to 30 points. I know Sam Laporta's probably going to score. First time he hasn't in a while. You just feel confident. Even at the end of the game, 4th and 2, there was never a doubt in my mind in what I thought Dan Campbell was going to do. And then there was never a doubt in my mind that they wouldn't get it. Like, they're so efficient when they're all together. This is a well-oiled machine. And that was game 1 of them being together. Man, I'm telling you, they have a nice stretch of time between now and the playoffs, because we know where we're going. The playoffs, to get this thing even better. That's scary.
I'm glad you brought that up, Braylon, because I don't think there was ever any point in that game where I thought they could potentially lose that game.
Even when Los Angeles came back and took the lead, you still didn't worry.
And I think that's kind of the mindset shift that we have gotten to here in Detroit. Maz, it's a complete shift.
Yep.
I never thought they would lose that game yesterday at any point.
And then back in the day, we never thought they'd win that kind of game. What they got to do is they got to get better on 3rd down. They are bad on 3rd down. They're better on 4th down than they are on 3rd down.
True.
And that 3rd quarter, they've got to figure something out. I don't know what it is about halftime, but they got to come out a little bit better on halftime. Again, it was going to be 3 and out if it wasn't for a penalty against the Chargers, and that kept that drive alive. They wound up punting the ball anyway. And if you go to Riley Patterson, he's been phenomenal this year, but he can't kick.
Him a big leg.
He can't kick past 45. Can we say 45 is his max?
42 and a half.
And Dan Campbell in the 3rd quarter, if you remember, he had a shot like at a 48-yard field goal, and they punted. Jack Fox put him inside the 8-yard line. It didn't matter because the Chargers drove down the field and scored anyway. But by the time the 3rd quarter rolled around, guys, late in the 3rd quarter, you knew last team that had the ball was going to win, and that's what Dan Campbell played for, and he played it right this time. He didn't play it right against Seattle, but he played it right here against the Chargers. He learned.
And that's a good thing. That you, as a coach, as a player, the thing you want to be able to do is to get better, learn from your mistakes, or even if it wasn't a mistake, learn from where you were bad at something. And it seems like he's doing that. The 3rd quarter, man, you know what I think it is, and this just could be me watching as a novice fan. They got to be more aggressive in the 3rd. They come out the game in the 1st quarter, they start aggressive, they'll do things in the 3rd, they keep the momentum rolling in the 2nd quarter, and they have a lot of leads going and coming out of halftime. I'm thinking they start to get a little chill, just run the ball, get complacent, and ease into the 2nd half. Man, start that 3rd quarter like you start most 1st quarters. You got to be a little bit more aggressive, I think.
But they did yesterday. Sorry, Rye.
That's all right.
They started the 3rd quarter with passes, and I was on my way in here. I was listening to Dan Miller and Lomas Brown because I had the post-game show. and they both spoke. Hey, Lions have been dominating with the run game. I don't understand why they haven't tried a run yet. So they started with 3 passes in the third quarter. So they did try to be aggressive. It just didn't work.
I will tell you that 4th and 2 call at the end of the game, instead of kicking the field goal, was the moment in the game that had to happen.
Yeah. That won him the game.
That decision did win him the game. Just like Braylon, there was a decision in that opening game against the Chiefs as well. The decision to fake punt on the first drive at their own 17-yard line.
Oh, my God.
That won them the game in the first quarter. That decision won them the game that day. It didn't happen in the fourth quarter, but it happened in the first quarter. This decision to go, that was the only decision, Braylon, you could make, is to go for it in that 4th and 2. You could not give the Chargers the ball with a minute to go in the game when the Lions couldn't stop a nosebleed at that point. Whether they got it or didn't get it, it was the right decision.
Definitely was the right decision. And the good thing about it, talking about the Kansas City game and then talking about last night or yesterday, the Los Angeles Chargers game, is when they go for it, they know they're going to go for it. They know they're going to try something. Everybody's on board. All the coaches are on board. The players are on board. And when they do, you always believe they're going to get it because they have the best intention. It's not one of those situations like, should we try something here? Like, maybe we do, maybe we don't. They are very decisive when they're going to do things. And when you come from that space of a decisive energy, everybody feels it's like, let's go get it. So I think that's the good thing for Dan Campbell. He's very decisive when he's doing these things and getting better.
It is who they are, man.
Yes.
Listen to me. You have 4 downs to make 10 yards. I'm all in on going for 4th down as much as they think they can make it. I have no issue. I am not going to cry that they passed up a field goal, that they passed up a punt. I'm all in. I'm telling you right now, I'm all in. I believe what they're going to do. I'm with you, Coach. Do what the hell you want. You got 4 downs to make 10 yards and advance the football. Keep going.
And the 1 4th down that they didn't get, Bray, was they were up 10-3.
Yeah.
They had it 4th and 1 at the 13-yard line. And they had it 4th and 1 at the 1.
The 1.
And they didn't get in.
Right.
So
that's the only one they missed.
That was the only one they missed. But what happened was they came back on the very next series. And what did they do? 4th and goal at the 1. They went for it and they got it.
Yeah.
So it did work out. I mean, you could have kicked 2 field goals and had 6 points.
Yep.
But you went for it twice and got 1 touchdown and you have 7. So it did work out for them.
Yeah, it worked out for them, and it's about responding. That's another instance of response. The Detroit Lions have been really good this year, and Dan Campbell at responding. Jared Goff throws a pick 6, comes back with a touchdown. Throws a pick 6 against Seattle, comes back with a touchdown. Last night, same thing. They don't get it on 4th and 1. Okay, come back again and do the same exact thing. Their responses have been really good this year.
I want you go ahead, Maz.
Jim Nantz and Tony Romo. I just loved how they brought the whole city of Detroit and all their teams involved. Remember they showed the bad boys? Oh, they played over there at the Great Western Forum. They were it was a love fest yesterday for the Lions on CBS, and it just made me happy.
I just want to go back to what Dan Campbell talking about this aggressive offense. This is Dan Campbell talking about that aggressive mentality, and then we're going to immediately play for you a soundbite talking about trusting that offense too right here.
I told them all week we were going to play aggressive, and I wanted us to be ready to go, and we were, that was kind of part of the message. Our demeanor and the way we were going to coach and play. We were going to be aggressive. This group's been together for the most part for a while. There's really the new pieces are really Montgomery and Gibbs. I guess you could say Laporta, but Laporta, Gibbs, they've all and Montgomery have all proven that they're reliable pieces for us. The rooks have grown every year, and we have a lot of trust in all those guys. The old line's the same, Goff's the same, St. Brown's the same, Josh Reynolds is the same, Khalif Raymond. So I've seen these guys function. I know how Ben Johnson will call a game if we want to play this way, and I believed it was the right thing to do, and I thought we'd get it.
This football coach is going to make some calls that might make you, I don't know, I don't want to say pull your hair out, but might go against the grain.
Yeah.
And that's what works for him. That's what works for this football team. And that's really, served them well. Once they've had the talent here to make some of these calls, like a 4th and 1 or a 4th and 2. Yeah, you got your quarterback. In that quarter, Sam Laporta was the third option on that read.
Yeah.
He was the third option on that 4th and 2 that they went for it. And you had a quarterback and you had a rookie tight end, Bray, make the play. And you kill me for saying this. I'm sure I'll get killed. And it's fine.
What else is new?
What else? Aside from Travis Kelce, there isn't a tight end in the National Football League I'd rather have than Sam Laporta. And that includes Mark Andrews. That includes George Kittle. That includes TJ Hawkinson. There isn't a tight end in the league not named Travis Kelce that I would rather have than Sam Laporta. And this young man hasn't even completed his first year yet.
I appreciate TJ Hawkinson. He was on my fantasy. Thank you for that 100.
He kicked ass yesterday.
I really needed that too. Thank you. But you're right. And people can kill you for it because they're going to say, oh, he's not better than George Kittle. You've seen what he's done over the last 4 years. I'm not talking about the last 4 years. I'm talking about right now, at the level that Sam Laporta is playing, at the level that they trust him to play, at the level that Jared Goff believes in Sam Laporta, at the consistency that he's played with this season. Hell, I've seen George Kittle disappear for 5 games. That one touchdown he had yesterday, his first touchdown in probably 4 weeks. That's the level that he's playing. It's not about last year. It's not about 3 years ago. It's about what you're doing right now. And right now, Sam Laporta is playing with the best of them tight end. You trust him to catch the ball. You trust him to make big plays. And you trust him on third down. So he's playing at a high level, especially he's a rookie.
Sam Laporta, 4 catches, 40 yards, including the big one there at the end of the game on the 4th and 2. He became the first tight end in NFL history to produce at least 3 receptions in each of his first 9 career games. He is also the first tight end in NFL history to produce at least 35 receiving yards in the first 9 games of his career. He is doing things we have not seen in the history of the game in the sport.
Yeah, and sometimes, people, like with Sam Laporta, he just gets it done. Like, he's an Iowa guy. He just comes to work and he gets it done. Sometimes people want it to be sexy or look a certain way or him to talk a certain way or him to say things. No, Sam Laporta is like, just give me the ball, I'll make plays. He's a simple guy that knows how to play this game at an elite level.
He hasn't been the best the last couple games. He hasn't had his best games. But 40 yards yesterday and that big catch at the end, that makes it all worthwhile.
40 yards, but you got to look at the disbursement of everybody else, though. He may have had 40, but then you got 116 with David Montgomery, 112 with Jahmyr Gibbs, 156 with Amon-Ra St. Brown. So everybody was eating. And even Khalif Raymond, he came up huge at the end of the game.
Huge
had
play.
42 yards. So Jared Goff did a good job of distributing the passes throughout the skill positions.
Bray, we hadn't even mentioned Gibbs. Gibbs joined running back James Jones in 1983. Is the only players in franchise history to produce at least 50 yards from scrimmage in each of their first 7 games. He had 77 yards rushing. He had 2 touchdowns, 3 receptions for 35 yards, 112 scrimmage yards on the day yesterday. Let me ask you this question.
Okay.
In all seriousness, is this the greatest single draft we have ever seen in the history of the Detroit Lions?
Wow.
The best 1-year draft we have ever seen. Jack Campbell played his best game as a Lion yesterday, by the way.
I'll say this.
He definitely did.
Barry Sanders, that was the best draft ever. After Barry Sanders himself, then I'll give it to you.
Barry might be the best player.
Yeah.
But the draft,
Yeah. That was the best. I'm just laughing with you.
Right.
To me, you can't top Barry Sanders.
To answer your question, I agree with both of you. I obviously, Barry is the greatest, so yes, by default. We'll take Barry out of it. And I agree with you, right, Ermanni. If you look at what they're doing right now, Sam Laporta, Jahmyr Gibbs, these guys are operating at a high level. Like yesterday was
What about Brian Branch?
And that's exactly. And he's just getting back. Saw him out there.
Campbell. What about Colby Sorsdale? He's contributing.
Watching that yesterday, watching Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery, Thunder and Lightning, man, it was like watching Marion Barber and Lawrence Maroney when I was in Minnesota. They were dominant, and that's how they look.
We'll continue on with this. Share your thoughts in the WoodwardSports.com chat. Of course, we'll get to that defense as well.
Defense?
Are you concerned with the defense?
Were they
as
out
Maz calls them offense because they lack D. right? Did I get that right, man?
You did get it.
That gets you a message from the Hamlin Pub.
Have you ever wanted a bar where you are a regular? We have just the place for you. Head to one of Hamlin Pub's 7 locations and experience where everyone is a regular, whether you're enjoying half-off pizza on Thursdays or game day specials available during all Michigan sports and NFL games. Hamlin Pub is the place to visit a location today and experience your new favorite pub for all things sports.
Brace yourselves, Detroit. As the sun begins to set, 2 of Woodward Sports' brightest young stars will be taking the mic for a brand new show. Woodward Nights with Booner and Broder. The dog days in Detroit are over, and the boys are unleashed. Join in on the banter and hop on the bandwagon of the #1 night show on the internet. Tune into the Woodward Sports YouTube channel every weeknight from 8 to 10 p.m. Woodward Nights with Booner and Broder.
Come to any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men for an award-winning haircut experience from one of our talented stylists and register for a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to win an all-expenses-paid suite for the 2024 NCAA tournament for you and 5 of your best buds. That's right, college basketball's most elite event. You and your 5 best friends just get to any Lady Jane's today for an award-winning haircut experience and automatically register to win the trip of your dreams. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's, it's wicked awesome.
Woodward Sports' own Tom Mazaway and Sam Stick Day will be hosting our Lions postgame show after every Lions game all season long. Tune into the Woodward Sports YouTube channel for his hot off the press takes, game analysis, and Kool-Aid sipping celebrations. You won't want to miss it. Join Maz, Stick, and special guests each week immediately following every Lions game, exclusively on the WSN YouTube channel.
How would you like to win a $100,000 Vegas getaway? Take your closest friends and live it up in the city that never sleeps. It's the Cintron Energy. You can drink it, you can live it. Purchase a 24-pack today and enter to win that $100,000 Vegas getaway at drinkcintron.com/Vegas. And buy Cintron from your local Meijer. Cintron is the healthier energy drink, so you can look good, feel great, and be the best version of yourself with Cintron. Go to drinkcintron.com/Vegas for that $100,000 Vegas getaway.
When I was walking off the field today, I kind of had those thoughts, and our crowd, how loud they were, and getting to give them some love at the end of the game there, and they're still, cheering us on as we're walking off the field. And I've never played for a crowd like this, and they travel, and they're great at home, obviously, but I've never experienced that. It's pretty incredible, and being able to be a part of it as the quarterback is pretty fun.
And that was Jared Goff post-game yesterday, a 41-38 win over the Chargers in L.A., courtesy of the Detroit Lions YouTube. By the way, if you are watching on YouTube, hit that like button for us. It helps YouTube push our content out to more people. We certainly appreciate it if you could do that. Braylon, I do want to talk about the defense.
Yeah.
It was not their finest hour, to say the least. The Lions defense yesterday gave up 421 yards of total offense. They couldn't get off the field on third down. 7 of 14 the Chargers were on third down. 24 first downs they scored, or they had.
Did they punt?
It was not their finest day.
They did. I don't remember.
I don't remember them punting.
They did punt in the first quarter. They punted. There was 1 3 and out.
Okay.
After that, so the Chargers' last possession. I'm counting backwards now. Ready?
Right.
Touchdown. 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 Touchdown.
Damn.
Touchdown. 5 straight possessions of a touchdown. That's why you go for it on 4th down and 2 there. There was to start the game, they punted as well.
Yeah.
But there was an interception in there, the Kirby Joseph interception, which was
great
big.
play. Great play.
And so 5 straight touchdowns to end the game for the LA Chargers.
That's why we start off talking about the offense, because the defense is quite another story. This is why I did trade deadline. This is why a lot of people that watch the Lions, like us, wanted to get another edge rusher, wanted to get somebody to attack, get into the quarterback. When you get into Philly,
Chase Young had 2 sacks yesterday.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
For the Niners.
Definitely had two. They made what they do better, which is the defensive line. But when you get into Philly and Jalen Hurts, when you get into the Super Bowl against Patrick Mahomes or Joe Burrow, or you're playing against Dak Prescott, you got to put pressure on the quarterback. You can't allow a quarterback like Justin Herbert. He's not having his greatest year ever. Brandon Staley probably should get fired. I keep saying that. But when he's on, he's on. You can't let a guy like that just sit there and pass and break you down. Keenan Allen was open the whole game, and even when he wasn't open, he would make plays and was open. So that was one of the things I wanted to happen. This defense is going to have to make some moves because your offense can't score 41 every game. Your offense isn't going to be able to score 41 points every game. You're going to have to help them out at some point. There's no reason why you give up 5 straight touchdown possessions. You can't do that. That is not winning football. And once again, Matt, this is a team that they were a playoff bubble team-ish, the Chargers. Probably not anymore. But whenever the Lions play a team that is either over 500 or a playoff team, what doesn't happen? Quarterback doesn't get touched. You can't win like that. So something's going to have to happen with Aaron Glenn. I don't know what it is. Maybe try some stunts, but it's got to change because you can't win like this.
No, you can't. And we got to hope James Houston can get healthy and maybe get back in the lineup, and hopefully he'll be able to help. There was the one chance that they had to get Justin Herbert. John Kaminsky was right there, and he got pushed past him. I think Slater pushed him past him, and then he got away. They didn't tackle really well. Cam Sutton got called for a couple of penalties that I don't know if they really were penalties. The refs kind of helped at the end. But that all said, they've got the Bears, the Packers, and the Saints for the next 3 times. None of those offenses scare me. None of those offenses scare me. Here's a chance to get healthy defensively and maybe get some confidence going into the back end of your schedule.
Yeah, I 100% I agree with you. One thing, earlier in the year we were talking about Aiden Hutchinson. I think this is after the Seattle game where he didn't get any sacks. And it was like, why don't they move him around? Like, legitimately, they line up and play all game long. Aiden Hutchinson never moves. He's on the left. He's going to be there. He's going to take on a double team or whatever. He's going to be in the same spot. When you watch Dallas, now I understand Micah Parsons and Aiden are different. They move Micah Parsons all around. The Detroit Lions and Aaron Glenn keep Aiden one freaking spot. Even Nick Bosa moves around. Even Joey Bosa moves around. Didn't work for him yesterday, but they move around. You got to try something new to get him around, to help him out.
No sacks in the game. 5 quarterback hits in this game. 3 quarterback hits for Aiden Hutchinson and 2 for Alex Anzalone. There were 5 passes defensed. Anzalone, how good has Anzalone been?
You see him at the goal line?
Seriously.
Holy
Kirby
crow.
Joseph had a pass defense. He did have the pick. Cameron Sutton did as well. 1 tackle for loss. That went to Cam Sutton as well. This defense absolutely has to be better. You got to get to the quarterback, man.
Yeah.
That's just the name of the game. And however you think you need to do that, it's not like Herbert is sitting back there being Lamar Jackson. He's not going to take off.
Exactly.
That's a pocket passer right there. You got to get to him. So I think they understand that. I believe they will make some adjustments. I hope they make some adjustments. And
it's also fair. There are injuries. We know CJ GJ was an acquisition that we wanted in the free agency market. Maz, you talked about it since the Super Bowl.
Yep.
You got him. In game 1, he gets hurt. So that's killing you. Emmanuel Mosley, another really good defensive back from the San Francisco 49ers. Get him back from injury. And what happened? First play, he gets injured again. So you're talking about 2 really good players in your secondary. Hell, one's a Pro Bowl, all-pro player.
Yeah.
Brian Branch misses some games, so he's trying to ease back into it and figure it out. Like you said, with the rushing on the right side, trying to get him back, if you will. Got some guys out. When we get him back, we'll see. But in the meantime, between time, Aaron Glenn is going to have to scheme these guys and help these guys out because they're struggling on the back end.
Let me ask you something.
Go ahead.
Be honest, both of you guys. Would you sign Ndamukong Suh, and can he help?
yes. Yes, I would. Yes, I would.
I would as well.
Yeah,
I know he comes with some baggage. I do.
At the end of the day, Ndamukong Suh, he's one of the smartest guys I know. But he's won the Super Bowl. He's lost the Super Bowl. He is a guy that can come on his team right now. He's not going to come and give you 9 sacks or nothing like that, but just having him as a body, just having him as a person that's been there, and having him as a guy that can work with Aiden. Like, I think getting him in there will help Aiden out tremendously.
Hell yeah.
You're talking about somebody from Aiden to learn from, somebody to bounce some ideas off of. Like, when you're a young guy in the NFL or in any sport, you're really looking for that mentor. You're looking for that guy that can help you out. You're looking for that guy that you can ask questions about, that has been there, that has the experience. I'm talking about big level experience like Ndamukong too. So just for that alone, it will be interesting to get Ndamukong. Hell, he was in the Super Bowl last year.
I'll tell you a guy
it's just another body.
No, I agree with you. I'll tell you a guy that I'm pretty disappointed in too, and obviously he's hurt or he can't play or something. It's Josh Paschal.
Yeah.
Did he even play yesterday?
I don't even know.
He
was active.
I mean, he was active.
He was active. Charles Harris is nowhere. Charles Harris is nowhere.
Yeah, I never liked that acquisition.
Roderick
anyway.
Martin. Where's he? Where's your guy? What's his name?
Roderick Martin had a decent game yesterday.
Where's your guy?
Never mind, Broderick.
Where's your guy? I'm trying to think of his name.
It's so funny.
The guy you love.
Who's my guy that I love?
Jim. It'll come to me.
Malcolm Rodriguez is playing fullback.
Yeah, I know. It's actually a better position for him. So
I don't know who you think I love.
It'll come to me.
what position does he play, man?
Defense. Line.
Oh,
Brian
Kaminsky?
No.
The commish?
No.
Bugs?
Bugs.
Oh, I love Bugs.
Thank you.
Isaiah Bugs. There you go.
I haven't heard his name. That's why I forgot it.
He was active yesterday.
Yeah, he wasn't very active.
He wasn't very active.
Yeah, he didn't play either. I think
Okay.
he had the.
Where are these guys?
It's so funny. I look at like trolls online comments. I love the comment section, although I should stay out of it. But every time we bring up Brian Branch, or you bring up Sam Laporte, or you bring up Jahmyr Gibbs, now people in chat bring up Broderick Martin, Josh Paschal, Malcolm Rodriguez, and these other ones. It's always funny.
Yeah, you're not going to hit 100%
hell
on the
no.
draft. You would like to hit on the high draft pick.
This is true,
right? I mean, you would like to hit on the high draft pick.
You think Pascal's a miss right now? Is he a miss?
Well, there's no other way to look at it.
He looks like a miss.
He has to be a miss.
There's no other way to look at it, right? I mean, when you take injured players, whether it's J-Mo, whether it's Paschal, whoever, if you're an injured player in college, you're going to be an injured player in the NFL. That's just what it is. It never fails.
Well, it sucks.
Well, that's exactly right.
Austin Green, where's he at?
Well, just when you could use that position too. If Paschal was like a wide receiver or a running back,
we're okay.
You can miss it.
We're okay.
Or an offensive tackle, you can miss it. It's fine.
JPP's out there still.
But when you miss on the position that you desperately need, that is a big deal.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, when you need a rush end, but you have this shiny piece that you took in the second round a year ago, it's hard, right? It's a lot harder to accept that than if you miss elsewhere.
I think it's definitely hard too. And being in the NFC, the Lions are in the NFC, so we focus on the NFC. When you're looking at the top three teams in the NFC, the Lions, the 49ers, and the Eagles, when you look at the 49ers and Eagles, there's just so many freaking good defensive linemen on those two teams. You're like, damn, why can't we get a couple more players like that? Go ahead.
I was just going to say, look at CJGJ, right? I mean, probably the free agent acquisition everybody here in Detroit was most excited about. He goes out, and it's not that big of a deal because you drafted Brian Branch and you have Tracy Walker on your team. If you had somebody that could fill that defensive end spot that Josh Paschal is, not performing in, you wouldn't care that Josh Paschal isn't performing. But you don't have the benefit of having a Tracy Walker type, Brian Branch type guy to bail you out of that bad draft pick.
True, and even with that though, like CJGJ, that's why you pay certain players the money, and that's why certain players are all pro. Because if CJGJ was out there, that secondary would be a lot better. They wouldn't have 5 straight drives of touchdowns back to back to back to back. Because as good as Tracy Walker is, as good as Kirby Joseph is, neither one of those guys is CJGJ. So that's why you got to have your guys back, and that's why you spend the money you do. But man, that defensive line, that's the only thing about the Detroit Lions, and I keep saying it. I'm looking at the 49ers defensive line. I look at the Eagles defensive line. You got to have bodies. Because what they're allowed to do with the 49ers and the Eagles is they're allowed to keep guys fresh and just keep coming at you with new, fresh energy. Like Chase Young's playing 12 plays a game. Like, that's not that. Like, Hargraves now can get breaks. Nick Bosa can get breaks. So, but you know what? We're here now, so we're going to have to do it. Get guys healthy. That's the moment.
No doubt about it, guys. All right, we're going to take a break. We're going to put a pause in the Lions talk. We're going to get to Michigan. Big win at Penn State over the weekend. What's next for Big Blue? We'll do that next. But first, a message from Feldman.
That's right. Feldman Chevrolet, Detroit's #1 Chevy dealer. With 18 locations, there's a Feldman dealership in your background. So visit FeldmanAuto.com. Since 1996, Feldman Automotive has been driven to provide a fast, convenient, first-class car buying service, and it is called the Feldman Advantage. Do yourself a favor. Take advantage.
Where's the most convenient place to get that big fitness energy? It's Planet Fitness. Join today for just $1 down, $10 a month. With over 2,400 locations and equipment for every workout, you can get in, get energized, and get going. And with free fitness training and most clubs open 24 hours, everyone belongs in the judgment-free zone. So join today for $1 down, $10 a month, no commitment, cancel anytime. Deal ends Wednesday, September 13th.
Join now at any Metro Detroit location. Hurry, offer ends soon.
Join Woodward Sports' own Jeff Iafrate, along with special WSN guests for the most anticipated Lions season in decades. Filled with different surprises and expert analysis. You're not going to want to miss out. Go to our Woodward Sports YouTube channel on Sundays and tune in live from 9:30 to 11:30 a.m.
Gabby is a college student struggling to study for her big exam. Then she discovered Syntron, a healthy way for her to stay awake and focus. Jennifer frequently has chaotic days like this until she gets online, orders some Syntron, and finds her groove. April visited her local grocery store, purchased a case of Syntron, and entered to win the Syntron 100K Vegas giveaway. Pick up your case of Syntron today at any Meijer location or visit drinksyntron.com/Vegas and enter for the 100K Vegas giveaway.
Hey, let's talk about Outdoor Equipment Company, the official outdoor equipment provider of Woodward Sports. Michigan-grown, family-owned, bad boy mowers, tractors, steel handhelds, even weed whippers, Liberty trailers, Generac generators, SnowX plows, and Salters. Outdoor Equipment Company has it all. You could buy it, you could rent it, all for 0% financing, delivered to your doorstep. OutdoorEquipCo.com, OutdoorEquipCo.com. Ooh. Hey, welcome back, everybody. Woodward Sports Network on a Victory Monday in the city of Detroit. Ryan Ermanni, Braylon Edwards, Tom Mazaway is with us as well. We got Parker, we got JB, having a lot of fun here and discussing some of our football teams here in the state of Michigan. And we will get now to those Michigan Wolverines. Braylon, Michigan had their biggest game of the year, one of the biggest moments of the year. And this was really a statement game. And again, never any doubt that they were going to lose this game. It was just a matter of by how much were they going to win.
I may be going overboard with this. So if it's too much, then is what it is. Sue me. This was the biggest moment, I think, for Michigan as a school, as a football program, probably ever. Like, never have you seen a situation where a team is vying for, or at least not at the University of Michigan, where a team is vying for national championship, something comes down right on the brink of one of their big games, and then they have their coach suspended as he's on a plane. Such cowards. I have him suspended while he's on the plane going to the rivalry so he can't play that game, and he finds out the day before. Then you have to bring Sharon Moore in. Now the players are playing with our Harbaugh. You're in Penn State, who's the number 10 team in the country with one loss. It was just a lot on the line for that game. It was Penn State was a better team, then it would be even more. But I've never seen anything like that. And to have the team respond the way they did, the way they ran the ball, the way they ran it down their throat, that was a huge moment for Michigan. I couldn't be prouder as an alum.
When I was watching the game, I didn't understand what they were doing live.
Yeah.
I even tweeted out, I cannot believe the lack of creativity from this offense. And then you started to see it a little bit. And then you understood what they were doing. It was, we don't even need to throw it one time to bury you. We don't even need to pretend like we can't beat you if we just run it up the middle. We don't need your signs. This is what we're going to do to you. You try to stop it. And Penn State couldn't stop Michigan. 32 consecutive runs. There was one pass mixed in there. It was a pass interference, so it was negated. But 32 official consecutive runs from the 7-minute mark of the second quarter on J.J. McCarthy did not put it up one time. It was incredible.
It was a clinic
to see what happened there.
How's Manny Diaz doing?
Ah, man.
Penn State coordinator.
Well, 100%. The greatest thing about it is, like, they talk about Penn State, how good that linebacker was, how good the defensive end was. That's going to be an issue for Michigan, is the defense. That defense can keep Penn State in it, and maybe, no, they couldn't. When you run the ball like that, when you impose your will like that on the defenders, man, that is big boy football. I remember in 2003, my junior year, Chris Perry had 54 carries. 13 of those were in a row, threw 2 passes, and then another 9 in a row. Watching it, and then watching Michigan.
I remember that Chris Perry game. That was
how happy was Lloyd?
54 carries, and you can just see each carry, Michigan State just a little bit more beat down, a little bit more beat down, and that's what you saw out of Penn State. When you know what's coming, Ryan, do you know how it feels? I don't. Can you imagine how it feels to be on that defense and you know the run is coming? You're like, damn, that's 10 in a row, so they're just going to keep running, and you can't stop it. Jim Harbaugh in Michigan, Sharon Moore at Michigan, they put somebody on notice.
What do you do if you were the defense of Penn State and you're a secondary guy, or you're a guy that likes to rush the passer? How deflating is that to you, that you're not even in the freaking game?
Well, it's nothing you can do about it. Like, it's nothing you can do about it because you want to stack the box. Like, that's all you really can do is just stack the box.
That's it.
And stack the box, but you're still second guessing yourself. Like, are they going to throw a pass out of this? Are they going to try to trick us and do a play action? So you're second guessing yourself when you should really say, just put 8 in the box and see what happens. But that was a great effort, man.
This team has come together. This Michigan community has come together unlike any time I can ever believe or remember in my lifetime. I've never seen a Michigan family come together like this, from the players to the students to the coaches to the administration to the president, the athletic director, the alumni. Everybody is one in this us versus the world mentality, Michigan versus everybody mentality. They've really galvanized this motto and really embraced it. Jim Harbaugh was asked today by Angelique Chingelis how he heard of the suspension, and somebody tapped him on the shoulder on the plane and showed him the social media post. That's all you need to know really about how the Big Ten is handling this suspension. To not even have the common courtesy to call him directly, speak with the athletic director, speak with the president, speak with him at all. They just put out the statement so he can find out on social media. That is how Michigan found out about it. That's how Jim Harbaugh found out about it.
Let me say this.
Disgusting.
Today won't be a day where I lobby against who's doing what and how they got the information. It's Ohio State and the NCAA versus. I'm not even going there today.
Disgusting.
All I will simply say is, if they went about it the wrong way, I'll just say that the NCAA has no proof that Jim Harbaugh had any knowledge of this. In fact, when they did their investigation, they said, we can't connect the two. We're good. We're gonna deuce out. Big Ten, you take care of that. Big Ten legitimately has not finished the investigation, and they suspend Jim Harbaugh the day before they play the number 10 ranked team, which they're still in the playoff hunt, because you told them that if he suspended, he could come back in the postseason for the playoff run, if you will. That's not how you do it. You have to go through the just do. You got to go through due process. You got to wait to get everything out. You got to get all the facts. You got to connect it before you do it. You can't rush to judgment in the middle of the season. That's my only issue with how they're handling it. After you get all of it, you want to suspend Jim Harbaugh and all this stuff and tell me, you know what, Connor Stallions, they were cheating. That's fine. Once you have enough information, say that. They won't even say that, Ryan and Ermanni. They won't even say, we have enough information to connect Jim Harbaugh to Connor Stallions, so we will be suspending Jim Harbaugh. What they are basically saying is, all right, well, yeah, we saw him on the sideline, and we're just going to suspend him right now until we figure it out. That's just not how you handle a situation, and I'm not even going to argue match today. That's not how you handle a situation like that.
What they're doing now, as I read today, is they're really trying to figure out that whole Central Michigan sideline thing, where they saw a guy that looked like Connor Stallions on the sidelines, whether it was him or not, in Central Michigan coaching gear. That's what they're concentrating on now because they're trying to do anything they can to try to put a case together. And it ain't going to work. It's not. But why do we have to wait till Friday again now? Is that when the court hearing is?
Yeah, that's when the court hearing is.
What the hell's taking so long?
We'll have plenty of days to talk about it. I don't know the legalities of the temporary restraining order. We'll get somebody that knows about that stuff on the show this week. I don't.
Dan Lust.
Yeah, there you go. Fine. But what I'm saying, this football team is good enough to win the national championship. And I think they will rally behind this, and I do believe. I don't want to say I'd be shocked if they didn't win.
Yeah.
But if there was ever a year to do it, I think this is their year to win the national championship. And I don't see any way how Ohio State beats them. I don't see this team losing in 2023 or 2024. By the way, that's in January.
Good caveat.
You know what this feels like? And I think we said it on Friday. It feels like when Tom Brady missed the first 3 games of the season in 2018. And then what happened that year?
They won the Super Bowl.
And guess who had to hand Tom Brady the Super Bowl MVP trophy? Roger Goodell. They're going to beat Ohio State without Jim Harbaugh. Let's just stay there. Maybe Jim Harbaugh comes back. Let's stay with the idea that he's not coming back.
I agree with you.
They're going to beat Ohio State. And then when they go to the Big Ten Championship, Tony Petitti is going to have to walk his cowardly self up there. He's going to have to hand Jim Harbaugh the Big Ten Championship trophy. I'm seeing it play out in my head right now. Just the way in which they went about it.
Let me ask you this.
Go ahead.
Let me ask you this question.
I know what you're going to say.
What?
Should they even play that game?
No, that's not what I'm going to say.
Bad guess.
Bad guess.
Let me talk to you.
Yeah.
LA.
I legitimately want. I never thought this would ever come out of my mouth.
Uh-oh.
I legitimately want Michigan to leave the Big Ten.
Yeah, I agree.
I want them to leave the Big Ten. The Big Ten needs Michigan more than Michigan needs the Big
We don't
Ten.
need the Big
and
Ten.
as somebody who has played and worn that uniform and been a member of the Big Ten Conference, I want you to tell me your feelings on that next. But first, a message from Swiss.
Yes. Do you have football on the brain like us? Of course you do. Fall ushers in college and professional football, and this year has already been awesome. Just check out Sunday and Saturday for more evidence of that. Fall is also a perfect time to shop your home and auto insurance. Shop it like a pro with the pros at Swiss Insurance. They cover us here at WSN, and they should be covering you as well. Ask for Mark at Swiss Insurance today at SwissINS.com, or as always, give them a call at 248-800-4177. Swiss Insurance.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles. And with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
Woodward Sports' own Tom Mazaway and Sam Stick Day will be hosting our Lions postgame show after every Lions game all season long. Tune into the Woodward Sports YouTube channel for his hot off the press takes, game analysis, and Kool-Aid sipping celebrations. You won't want to miss it. Join Maz, Stick, and special guests each week immediately following every Lions game, exclusively on the WSN YouTube channel.
Burgers and chicken sandwiches are taking over at Big Boy. Try our new pretzel bacon cheeseburger. Turn up the heat with Bob's Hot Chicken Sandwich. Upgrade those regular fries with our chili cheese fries or loaded baked potato fries. Hit your sweet tooth with funnel cake fries or Reese's chocolate peanut butter thunder cake. Load up on all your favorites today at Big Boy.
Time to tell you about Lions VIP Tailgate, featured by Bullseye Event Company. Get your tickets today at Bullseye Event Group. Join Woodward Sports in Long Drink. Come down to Shed 5 Eastern Market. It is a great time. Starts at 9:30, goes to 1. And remember, at 1, it is over because the game has started. Food is good. The drinks are good. The people are good. It's a great time. Subscribe to our YouTube right now, and you can win your chance to come down for free. Follow us at IG on Direct Lions VP. Bullseye Event Group.
There you go. So, Braylon, I asked you the question. I really wish the Michigan Wolverines leave the Big Ten. Now, it's probably an unrealistic thing because of all the money and the TV deals and this, that, and the other thing that the conference gets. But I do want them to leave, or at least seriously explore leaving, because I do believe that the Big Ten needs Michigan more than Michigan needs the Big Ten. What say you as somebody who's played for the Big Ten Conference?
I agree. Michigan does. The Big Ten does need Michigan more than they need it. At first, just being angry and outraged, I'm like, man, just leave. Leave the conference. Like, when you're a part of a conference, you want to be in that conference. You want them to protect you. You want them to do things right by you. You want to be able. You can be able to trust the president or trust Tony Petitti or whoever's in charge. You want to have a working body that works well. Like this situation right now, it's a witch hunt. By the way, you got every coach in the Big Ten going against Michigan. You got Tony Petitti trying to figure out how to handle the situation and suspending Jim Harbaugh as he was on the plane. I would say, yeah. I was like, yo, go ahead. So you know what? Succeed. Let's go out and do it. If Notre Dame has done it this long on their own, Michigan can too. That's in first impulse. But then you're like, nah, I would never want Michigan to leave the Big Ten because like, when I think Michigan, I think Big Ten. So it just sucks that we can't get taken care of in our own conference that we made so much money for. But, it's another story. I would want them to, but once you sit down and think about all the money you'll be potentially losing, just the traditions and the history. I mean, Michigan is the first team in the Big Ten. We were for the original 6. So it would be tough to leave after that.
Hey, look, if they could hook up with Notre Dame and somehow figure some way to stay together and go somewhere, I'd be for it. I'm pissed. So I'm like, yeah, of course we're going to quit. Every time someone gets pissed, oh, yeah, I'm quitting that job. Oh, I'm quitting. I'm not going back to that class anymore. I hate that professor. That's our first instinct as a human being, when you get pissed on. And what they did is not right. And the crybabies won out this time.
Yeah.
I really hope.
The mob.
Yep. I really hope that Jim Harbaugh can coach these last 2 games. It takes away. This is his guys. These are his guys. This is the best Michigan team in a long time. A long time. It would be a sin for him not to be able to coach these guys. I really believe that the Big Ten jumped to conclusions here. You know what? They made their point. Michigan did not have their coach against Penn State. The biggest game of the year for them so far. You won. You got it. Okay, guys? You little crybabies. You took your football. You went home with it. You won. But you know what? You got to come back to the schoolyard now and play with the big boys. Let Jim Harbaugh coach. And then if you got to find the University of Michigan, you find them. You take away a scholarship or 2, whatever the hell it takes. But you shouldn't take away their head coach. You should not.
Here's a quick question for you, Ryan and Maz. Do you think for Tony Petitti and his estimation of this situation, say, you know what? I'm going to suspend Jim Harbaugh for the Penn State game. That's a big one. That's number 10 number team 10 in the country. That's a major game for this Harbaugh staff to be Harbaugh'less, right? And then they're going to file an injunction. I mean, he's a Harvard guy, so he's smart. He's thinking steps ahead. They're going to file an injunction, then we're going to have to talk during the week. Then you come back from an injunction. What if they say, all right, that was the one game. That's what we really wanted to do. But then when the injunction comes back, now they're like, we let Harbaugh play these last 2. But they just wanted to do something.
Well, I think
they want him out.
I don't know how the legal process is going to work out, but I will say it is curious to me. What's the suspension for the allegation? Because was it 3 games just because there's 3 games left?
Exactly.
Would it have been 6 games if there's 6 games left? Would it have been 1 game if there's 1 game left? It just doesn't make any sense. Now, side note to all of this, I'm really disappointed in a guy like Stephen A. Smith.
Yeah.
Stephen A. Smith today said that Michigan should be disqualified from the college football playoff. Now, that is the dumbest thing I ever heard, number 1. And 2, this is 2 days after Desmond Howard put him in his place and stood down. Stephen A. Smith stood down on an argument. I can't tell you.
And Paul Feinbaum and Heather Dennis.
How many times Stephen A. Smith has been on television arguing back and forth and actually said, you know what? You're right, to the guy he's arguing with, and stood down from his position to come back 2 days later and go on television and say that Michigan shouldn't be in the college football playoff, I think is negligent. Because love him or hate him, think what he says matters or doesn't matter. A guy like Stephen A. Smith does carry a lot of the weight when it comes to the national conversation. What's Stephen A. say about this? And when you say that they shouldn't be involved in the college football playoff, that does set a little bit of a narrative for people who might not follow this story as closely as we do. And that's when you have all this mess going on. So I do believe, and you can hate these shows and you can not watch these shows, but a lot of people do. Whether it's Skip Bayless or Stephen A. or any of these other guys, but those are the two main ones. What they say does carry weight. I was really disappointed in Stephen A. today for saying that, specifically, not because he believes that. I think he's just saying that for clicks. And I think what you say matters because you're putting people's lives in your hand, professional lives in your hand. Yeah. Jobs, schools, coaches, all that stuff. Man, if you're going to say, like, don't just, oh yeah, Desmond, you're right about that. I never considered that. Yeah. I'm not going to argue with that. I was disappointed, Bray.
Yeah, definitely, especially after he was just in Ann Arbor as a keynote speaker a week ago. I just talked to him up there, and he didn't tell me all this then. The interesting thing with that is I agree with you. When you're on these platforms, on these panels, when you say things, you start to put that information in people's heads. People start to think about it, and people get, you know what, he's got a point. How many people come out with that point? And then you get the pitchforks. My big thing is all about the process. It's all about the process. No one even said that that's Connor Stallions on the Central Michigan sideline. Now it looks like him, 100%. But they haven't even said that in the report. Like we've proven that that's him. We've proven that Jim Harbaugh has known. We've proven. You haven't proven anything. Right now it's speculation, and right now you got to go by the process. There is no process. There is no NCAA. The NCAA pushed it to the Big Ten. The Big Ten was like, we don't know what to do with it, Tony. So I just hate that it's just in this space where you just feel disrespected, and you're like, I don't know what the Big Ten and Michigan, I don't know what the resolution would be after this, because there isn't after this. There isn't after this with the Big Ten and the Michigan. So.
Hey, we're going to go back to the NFL after this, but just college football. Did what Georgia did this weekend, did that scare you a little bit? Did that did anything concern you as far as who's the best team in college football? That was a beatdown.
They're very good.
Yes, because Brock Bowers is back. And going into the season, I think I'm not the only one to say he's the best college football player coming into the season. Now he's back, and you got a quarterback. That was a big thing. That was kind of like the question mark coming to the season. They lost Stetson Bennett to 4. Who was going to be the quarterback? This quarterback has like 6 300-yard games right now, and he's throwing at a high level. So they look good, Ryan. Their defense, though, that's the one thing I still see an opening is their defense.
I got to ask Braylon this. It's about the Michigan thing. What Tony Petitti said is, I'm suspending Jim Harbaugh because safety for the players is the utmost. That's our utmost challenge. So, do you think sign stealing puts a player in jeopardy of getting injured?
No, I don't. I don't believe sign stealing puts a player in position to get hurt. Obviously, talking about
that's their whole take.
I don't see it. Like at the end of the day, we know signs, we know things, and when I played in the NFL, we knew signs, we knew plays, we knew what it was going to be. I don't think that gives you the one up and saying maybe a guy knows where the ball is going to go, so he's already running to that spot to hit the running back or something like that. I don't believe it. At the end of the day, got to say height, got to figure the situation out. I don't believe that a safety is inquiring. And guess who said safety? Speaking of people just saying things, Michigan State. They started that whole safety thing when we played them, saying, we thought about not playing Michigan because of the safety issues and blah, blah, blah. Michigan State put that idea in there. Come on, man. No, to answer your question.
You know, a team that really is opening up my eyes lately is Alabama. And I told you about Alabama. Wait for this guy to get later. They have a national championship team except at quarterback. And all this quarterback has done is get better and get better and get better and get better. Alabama's a team that I think Alabama is going to win the SEC. I think they beat Georgia this year in the SEC championship.
100%. Do you remember the panel in the national championship game? And they asked David Pollack, who was sitting right next to Nick Saban, who was the tops in the SEC conference, and he didn't hesitate, and he said, without a question, it's Georgia right now. Nick Saban looked like he wanted to slap the hell out of David Pollack. That was the moment Nick Saban said, all right, we'll see.
And I see Guardian Alarm in your future. Guardian Alarm, your local security experts have been for over 90 years. When you see this black and yellow sign out in front of your house, it tells the bad guys one thing. Stay out. Whether you are at home or on the road, they're 24/7 professional monitoring, customized solutions from real experts, and technology backed by people means you are backed by the best. Call this number right here, 1-800.
Stay out.
The number again, 1-800.
Stay out.
Call them today. Tell them Woodward Sports sent you.
Stay out.
Now, coming to Woodward Sports, Woodward and Main Street, the Woodward Sports Network Detroit Lions show. Let's go! Catch Gabrielle D. Phillips, Matt Broder, and Terry Foster for all the latest news on your Detroit Lions every week. Only on the Woodward Sports Network YouTube channel and woodwardsports.com.
Calling all landscapers. This is Darren McCarty. I'm at Outdoor Equipment Co. How would you like to landscape like a legend? How about a bad boy zero turn? And even a chainsaw. And even a weed whipper. Whether you landscape for your job or landscape for fun, get all your equipment from Outdoor Equipment Co., the official equipment provider of Woodward Sports. Michigan grown, family owned. OutdoorEquipCo.com.
Join Woodward Sports' own Jeff Iafrate along with special WSN guests for the most anticipated Lions season in decades. Filled with different surprises and expert analysis. You're not going to want to miss out. Go to our Woodward Sports YouTube channel on Sundays and tune in live from 9:30 to 11:30 a.m.
Hey, gang, let me tell you about Les Stanford Buick GMC. That's right. What happens when you run a great business for over 50 years? You expand and offer more products to more people. That's exactly what Les Stanford did by adding Les Stanford Buick GMC. They offer the same great service that customers have come to know and trust. Located in Ferndale on Woodward Avenue, just south of 9 Mile. And, of course, if you're looking for a Chevy or a Cadillac, check out Les Stanford in Dearborn today, where they have been on Michigan Avenue for over 55 years. You can find the brand you want. All GM brands under one umbrella. LesStanford.com. LesStanford.com.
Find new roads.
Find them. All right, gang. We'll go back to the NFL here. Big games in the NFL. Tom Mazaway, you have the floor, my friend.
Oh, what a horrible week for Survivor, by the way. I got knocked out of my Survivor pool.
What a gut punch.
It was a gut punch. I'll tell you about it in a minute. But first, we start off in Germany, where the Indianapolis Colts held the Patriots to 6 points. They scored 10 of their own. 10-6 Colts. That could have set football back 5 years, that game. God bless you, Parker, by the way. Will Bill Belichick have a job at the end of this year? Will he have a job up to the bye week? Because that was the rumor. Right. If he didn't come home with a win, he was going to be asked to leave.
Yeah, you know how I feel about rumors and all that stuff with Harbaugh. So I think the big thing is this. When you look at it from this standpoint, man, 6 Super Bowls. He's built the franchise. He's hired everybody in that damn building. Like he runs scouting. Bill Belichick is the Patriots. He just is the Patriots. And I think if let's say I was a Patriots fan, you wouldn't be able to make me forget about the 6 Super Bowls. And I know Tom Brady, it's more time than just him. He's got 6 Super Bowls. I don't know how you just push the guy out like that. And I think a lot of this rumor stuff, oh, it's a rumor. People just trying to get clicks. I don't know how much of that is true. I just don't see a world where you can force Bill Belichick out the door.
Here's the thing with Belichick.
They suck.
No, they do.
They are so bad.
They could be the worst team in the league.
If you think about an offensive or defensive coordinator, okay, think about Indianapolis, the team they just played. What player is the defensive coordinator game planning against when he game plans against the New England Patriots offense?
It's nothing to game plan.
Not one.
Hell no.
What, Mac Jones?
The offensive coordinator. What guy out there is he building a game plan to avoid?
The only guy is hurt. Matthew Judon. Exactly. Matthew Judon.
And Jack Jones just got cut.
And Jack Jones got cut.
Yeah.
So they have no players.
Yeah.
They don't have anybody on their team. So if Bill Belichick wants to look himself in the mirror and say, I need help, that is the biggest question any individual in the world, whether you're a football coach or Ryan Ermanni, I need help. You can't do it by yourself, Bill. You just can't. And if you want to, you're going to continue to lose. If you want help, you want a general manager, you want to hire somebody from outside the Patriot way to be your offensive coordinator or defensive coordinator, maybe you can beat Don Shula's record, because that's why he's sticking around. He wants to beat Don Shula's record. So it's up to him, really.
I think the big thing with Bill Belichick is he's not an honest man, and this is not a slight at Bill.
Clearly.
He's not honest with himself. Man, I believe, this is my estimation about him. He believes that defense, which was the thing in the 80s for the Giants, they won those Super Bowls because of defense, and they did have a good running game in the Super Bowl. But so he thinks a lot of that, boom, if it wasn't for my defense, we wouldn't be that good. Fast forward to the Patriots. Well, if it wasn't for me, that's Tom Brady, bro, and you. So I think a lot of this cachet that people have given Bill Belichick over the years, he's the greatest coach, he's this, he was a wizard when he was with the New York Giants. His first year with the Cleveland Browns, he actually got to the playoffs. He actually did, by the way. Got to the playoffs, won a playoff game. He got to the Patriots. He built this dynasty. You and Tom Brady built that, bro. I think he believes everything that he's done is because of him. He thinks this is me.
Ego, man.
And then everybody's calling him a genius. They've been calling Bill Belichick a genius since what, his third Super Bowl win, maybe his fourth. So then you start to buy into the hype. He's never going to ask for help, Ryan, because he don't think he needs it.
Ego.
Hey, great game here, Cleveland and Baltimore. Baltimore with a 14-point fourth quarter lead. They blow it. The Cleveland Browns come back and they win 33-31. Dustin Hopkins with the game-winning field goal as time expired. I don't know how Cleveland won this. I mean, Deshaun Watson wasn't good. He did rally him back in the fourth quarter, but he threw a pick six, had a fumble, he got sacked 4 times. Hey, good for the Browns.
Yeah, I mean,
I called this, by the way. I called this one. It wasn't anything special, to be honest with you. It wasn't anything special. It is just hard in the NFL to continue to win at the clip the Ravens were winning at. And we'll talk about it with the Jags too.
Yeah.
It's so hard to win more than 5 or 6 games in a row in this league. It just is. And
it's also hard when your wide receivers still dropping passes.
That's right.
What's going on with his wide receivers? They dropped another 2 touchdowns. Well, they dropped 1 touchdown. The other one would have been a big play. What is going on with it? But to your point, Ryan, you're right. Like, you get on the roll, because people scout you. That's what happens in this league. Like,
it's hard,
you start getting on the roll, people start doing extra scouting, people come up with these game plans for you that are different than you've seen. So, and they got a good defense. And that defense played well, and Lamar had a bad fourth quarter. Deshaun Watson was 14-14 in the fourth quarter.
Yeah. Good close by him. Here's the game that knocked me out, guys. The Houston Texans. I bet against them. Beat the Cincinnati Bengals in Cincy, 30-27. Another 350-yard game for C.J. Stroud. They get the last-second field goal for the win, but Tyler Boyd dropped a touchdown.
Would the line close at?
5.5. The lucky number of 5.5.
Tyler Boyd.
5.5. Tyler Boyd blew that game
for
him.
Yeah, like in the end
Makes
zone,
me
like
sick.
wide open. It's a little high, but like he dropped
it was right there.
Exactly. No, I mean,
you'll be living that down for the rest of your life.
He definitely dropped the mask, 100%. But here's a question: if C.J. Stroud and the Houston Texans win the AFC South, is he the MVP?
Not even close.
I agree. There's only been one.
I mean, it's a 2-win football team from a year ago.
It's only
they win 2 or 3.
They had the number 2 pick in the draft. If you go from number 2 pick in the draft to winning your division with a rookie quarterback, last time this happened, Jim Brown is the only rookie to win MVP, and he's charting in the direction.
Hey, 49ers,
Crazy,
they're back.
man.
49ers aren't going to lose 4 in a row. They beat the Jags 34-3 at Jacksonville. 3 touchdowns for Brock Purdy. Guess who didn't score? Christian McCaffrey did not score. Kittle over 100 yards and a touchdown. Deebo Samuel, he's back. They win when he's back.
This was the easiest game on the board yesterday. Yeah. San Francisco and the Jaguars.
I wish I had him to pick.
There was no way in the world that San Francisco was going to lose 4 straight games. That was not going to happen. No chance in hell. No chance. That's what you've got.
Vince McMahon. The only reason I thought that they had a chance to lose this is because, hey, look, the Jacksonville Jaguars were hot. But also, too, Brock Purdy's confidence looked like it had just been kept getting chipped down and down and down over the last 3-4 weeks. So I thought maybe his confidence would have been.
Do you know why?
Well, he didn't have his players.
Didn't have Debo.
He didn't have Trent Williams, who's arguably the best left tackle. He didn't have Debo. So they got players back.
Debo Samuel, you could talk all you want about Christian McCaffrey, and he's great. You can talk about Nick Bosa. He's great.
Debo's the difference maker.
Samuel is the guy that stirs the drink on this San Francisco 49ers team. And it's my opinion that the best team in the NFL is the San Francisco 49ers. I want no part of San Francisco in the playoffs.
Oh, by the way.
Neither do I.
Chase Young had 2 sacks.
I am hoping beyond all hope that the Lions could get the 1 seed and somehow Philadelphia and San Francisco in that 2-3 matchup beat the hell out of each other. Somebody gets hurt in that game that can't play, or Philadelphia somehow wins the game.
Well, they got to come to Ford Field if we're the number 1
I
seed.
understand that.
I'll play him at Ford Field.
Yeah, I mean, I'll play him at Ford Field too. But if I'm being totally honest with you, that is the only team in the NFC that scares the daylights out of me.
And they're efficient. They're operating on all cylinders right now. You get Chase Young, you add that keeps the defensive line fresh. And you look on offense, Debo's back, Christian McCaffrey. It's just so many weapons on that team. Trent Williams, man, he was dominant out there. Like when you got a guy like that on your left tackle and you don't have to worry about looking to the left as a quarterback, that is a great feeling to have, man. And when they're operating like that, all he has to do is be a conductor. Like all he has to do is be a maestro. Like everything's operating like that. Just don't botch it.
There's another team that's hot. The Vikings. They won 5 in a row.
Can we talk about that next?
You bet. Josh Dobbs. I love that guy.
Absolutely. I watched that game. Boy, is he good.
I love that guy.
We'll do that next. Vikings. And is there any concern for you? I think there should be a lot of concern. Minnesota's going to get in the playoffs. You could potentially, if you get the number 2 seed, you could potentially play them 3 times in 3 weeks. In 4 weeks.
Well, I remember the Giants in '86 did that with the Redskins, and they beat them all 3 times.
That's what happened with the Lions in Green Bay, right? Back-to-back weeks in '93.
That's how far through with the Sterling Sharks.
Giants, Patriots, Super Bowl.
That's right. Okay, guys, I got to get a break. Big boy.
You got it, guys. Wintertime in Detroit is always better with comfort foods from Big Boy. Start your day off with that breakfast. The stuffed potato pancakes are back, the classic lumberjack or Santa Fe omelet, and then you got the new apple pie hotcakes. They're too good to miss. How about the veal parmesan and the Southern Comfort chicken bowl? Don't forget to top it off with some great desserts and some shakes as well, especially the new gingerbread shake. Get to your new local Big Boy.
Where's the most convenient place to get that big fitness energy?
It's Planet Fitness.
Join today for just $1 down, $10 a month. With over 2,400 locations and equipment for every workout, you can get in, get energized, and get going. And with free fitness training and most clubs open 24 hours, everyone belongs in the judgment-free zone. So join today for $1 down, $10 a month, no commitment, cancel anytime. Deal ends Wednesday, September 13th.
Join now at any Metro Detroit location. Hurry, offer ends soon.
Woodward Sports' own Tom Mazaway and Sam Stick Day will be hosting our Lions postgame show after every Lions game all season long. Tune into the Woodward Sports YouTube channel for his hot off the press takes, game analysis, and Kool-Aid sipping celebrations. want to miss it. Join Maz, Dick, and special guests each week immediately following every Lions game, exclusively on the WSN YouTube channel.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
I'm wearing a little something today. Are you tired of wearing the same old Detroit sports merch? It's a new era in sports wearables. New designs, amazing apparel, and the ultimate swag. Check out Woodward Sports' latest gear at the woodwardsports.com shop. Just click shop when you go to woodwardsports.com. Hoodies, tees, hats, all guaranteed to turn heads and all guaranteed if you order now to get here by the holidays. Get the latest designs today. woodwardsports.com. Click shop. All right, let's get back to the Minnesota Vikings because they are a team that is playing pretty darn good football. I was wrong about them. I can admit it.
6-4 right now. They won 5 in a row. Every game is a one-score game. Josh Dobbs, 2 touchdowns. They beat the Saints 27-19. Derek Carr went down. Bad shoulder injury, concussion. In comes Jameis Winston. He threw nice 2 touchdown passes. Chris Olave got one as well, but not enough. Very entertaining game. But the Vikes, don't mess around with the Vikes.
Yeah, one thing about Jameis Winston, whenever he gets the game, he's going to find you 2 touchdowns. He may not win, but he'll find you 2 touchdown passes. But, Ryan, you asked about Minnesota and should the Detroit Lions fans be nervous. And, yeah, to a certain extent. Because, look, Josh Dobbs is playing really good football right now. Justin Jefferson will be returning soon. So you're talking about...
Could be this week.
100%. So you're talking about playing a team right now whose quarterback is very efficient and actually getting some good push at the line of scrimmage right now. Where do the Lions stink right now? It's getting pressure on the quarterback. Yeah. And you're talking about playing a guy that is elite. Well, not elite. I'm using the wrong word. Who's very efficient right now over 2 games. And then he gets Justin Jefferson back. Got T.J. Hawkinson went off yesterday.
150 plus
KJ
yards.
Osborne will come back. Like, I mean, the Lions are better than Minnesota. There's no problem. But when you face 3 times, even twice, like this, that stretch run was always the one, man. We talked about that in the beginning. Minnesota, Cowboys, Minnesota. Now you're looking at it from the standpoint of Josh Dobbs being this quarterback for them, Justin Jefferson coming back, them feeling some confidence in themselves. Hey, man, you start winning games in the NFL, even if you're, not that good of a team. When you win a couple, when you get above 500 in the NFL, the energy changes in the locker room. The energy changes. You start to play better. You start to feel better. You start to go out there and make some things happen, and that's what they're doing right now.
Yeah, Josh Dobbs is really getting it done. I mean, I thought this
What a story.
Yeah, God bless him. Good stuff.
23-19. This is a game that no one wanted to watch. Pittsburgh and the Green Bay Packers. Neither offense is any good, but Pittsburgh wins again.
If I'm Green Bay, I draft a quarterback in the first round here. They're terrible. They can't do anything with Jordan Love.
Pittsburgh is I heard somebody say they're the luckiest team in the NFL. They just play good defense, but man,
how are they 6-3?
Because the fourth quarter they always find a way to win because the defense just keeps them close, and they make a random play. But they could have 4 teams in the playoffs.
Absolutely.
if the season ended today, they have 4 teams in the playoffs. 4 teams in the playoffs.
Tampa Bay knocked off Tennessee 20-6. Baker Mayfield, 278 yards, 2 touchdowns. Tennessee went with Will Levis. They're going to try him out for the rest of the year. They're just playing the string out. A good win for the Bucs. Snap a 4-game losing streak.
Picked up Baker Mayfield in fantasy, so I appreciate it. Still lost, but hey.
I'll tell you, the Saints are nowhere near as good as I thought they would be. And Derek Carr got knocked out of the game yesterday. Jameis Winston came in to finish it out. The Bucs could win this division. You could have another year where the winner of the NFC South has 8 wins. 8-9 could get this thing done.
Gross.
8-9, another 8-9 season for the Tampa Bay Bucs, and I don't want to see
back-to-back division championships.
That division is horrible,
terrible.
Arthur Smith should be fired. That's
already?
The fight, yeah. Something about I don't think he got it. I don't think he has it.
Arizona beat Atlanta 25-23. Last second field goal again. to win that game. Kyler Murray was back. Good for him. 278 yards and a touchdown for Kyler Murray. And their rookie quarterback from Houston. What the hell's that kid's name? He ran in for a touchdown as well. Clayton Tune. And a few field goals by Matt Prater.
From Houston.
Yeah. Matt Prater with the game-winning field goal. Kyler Murray, it's one of those things where he's out there running around, and you're asking yourself before the game, if he looks good, do you keep him and then draft Marvin Harrison? Do you give him a chance? And then you see him running around out there. I'm like, I wouldn't.
Dallas Cowboys.
Oh.
Well, they throttled the poor Giants.
You knew this was going to happen.
49-17. Big day for Dak.
In the NFL?
Big day for CeeDee Lamb. And, of course, Tommy DeVito got his first start.
Like,
Giants.
How does what happen?
Well, this Dallas Giants game was just
they made that the game of the week on Fox.
I know, it's just a school, it's like the varsity versus the freshman.
Like, Giants are horrible. And then their backup then they get two quarterbacks knocked out of the game. So now they got DeVito, and they're trying to play against Micah Parsons. And they don't stand a chance.
Do you clean house again in New York?
Yeah.
You have to.
You talk about like with Daniel Jones, like, yeah.
They went to the playoffs and won last year, and I told you they need a redo already.
Yeah.
They already need a This is the one part about the NFL that I like. This is one part of the NFL that excites me and that really I love. I love that teams don't hang on anymore. You can't. Look, I understand you get it. You want to give somebody a chance. Like the Lions gave Dan Campbell a chance to get out of it. If you're the Green Bay Packers, you could get left behind for a long time.
Hell yeah.
If you want to hang on to Jordan Love. If you're the New York Giants, you could get left behind in that NFC East division real quick if you don't solve this problem quickly with your general manager, your head coach, and the quarterback. Bad head coach, bad quarterback, bad
Brian Dable won Coach of the Year last year.
Well,
he's not a bad coach.
Apparently
he has bad talent.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Brian Daboll, year one wins Coach of the Year. Year two, you starting to realize how bad Daniel Jones is. You get some injuries, and you really see how bad it is. It's going to be interesting to see what they do moving forward, but Daniel Jones isn't it. Like, the way that Brian Daboll looked at Daniel Jones, that Monday Night Football game, when he couldn't read the surface, and he just couldn't believe what he was saying, how Daniel Jones could miss that wide-open play that was in his face in the red zone, that was the writing on the wall. Like, they can't coexist, and $42 million for Daniel Jones, you better get out of that contract, buddy.
No doubt.
Seattle beat Washington 29-26. I'll tell you, Sam Howell, 300 and change, 3 touchdowns. Seattle wins late. Jason Myers, Geno Smith. They're good. 6-3, Seattle.
Sam Howell's throwing.
Washington's pretty good, too.
He's thrown for 300-plus yards the last 4 games. Like, he's...
Yeah.
Washington is the best 4-6 team I've ever seen.
Yes.
They're poorly coached.
They suck.
They're poorly coached.
Sam Howell, baby.
And the Jets fall at Las Vegas, 16-12. What's the stat you want to give me, Rye, on the Jets?
They have not scored a touchdown in 11 quarters and announced today that Nathaniel Hackett will continue to call plays for them and Zach Wilson will continue to be their quarterback. If you're a player on that team, if you're a player on that defense specifically, and you hold a team to 16 points, and you can't even get 1 touchdown in like 3 games, I am just Robert Saleh, he might be looking for a new job next year, to be honest with you.
I feel sorry for him.
And I agree with you, Matt.
I don't feel sorry for him when you continue to bang your head
Someone's
against the wall.
telling him to do it.
Who?
The GM and the owner don't even include him in conversations that have anything to do with the quarterback
situation.
situation.
You're in the wrong spot.
I agree.
Then you're in the wrong spot.
I agree.
Because you got to say, I don't do this.
Well, that's what's going to have to happen because they're going to fire him and he'll get to collect his money and then he'll get another job because, I mean, his defense was the 4th best defense in the league last year. His defense started off this year good as well, but the defense can only do so much when they're not getting any help from the offense. So he's in a lose-lose at the end of the day.
Monday Night Football tonight.
It's not his fault.
Buffalo's playing tonight.
What do you like?
Buffalo and Denver.
Oh, what a sick game.
Oh, God. Is a Manning cast on tonight?
I don't know. Probably not. Well, it might be because the game's in Denver, right? Is it in Denver or Buffalo?
No. I think it's in Buffalo.
Oh.
It's in Orchard Park. Buffalo's 7.5-point favorites. I wouldn't take Buffalo and give 7.5 to anybody.
Nobody.
I think Denver will stay under that number tonight.
Buffalo's a mess.
They are. Maybe Stephon Diggs will get 3 touchdowns tonight.
I'm going to go ahead and call the upset special tonight.
Ooh.
I think Denver wins this game.
Uh-oh.
I think Denver wins. I think Buffalo is dead.
Is that a hot take?
It's a hot take.
All right.
It's a hot take.
Too
I
bad you
think
didn't have the
Buffalo
horn.
is take.
Too bad you didn't have the horn.
No, right. No horn.
Well, you know.
Buffalo is.
JB took care.
You know how I feel about Sean McDermott. They've already been dead in the water to me, and hell, Denver, to your point, they have beat the Kansas City Chiefs already, so they are feeling that energy. So it's not a bad call.
Yep.
It's not a bad call.
That's my call. All right, guys, break time. We'll be back next, but first, a message from Fairway Packing Company for over 60 years. Fairway Packing has provided Michigan's finest hotels, restaurants, and casinos with prime beef, Wagyu beef, and dry-aged beef. You can experience the Fairway difference for yourself today. Visit the steak shop in Grosse Pointe Woods for grab-and-go steaks. You can order online, fairwaypacking.com, fairwaypacking.com.
Source aged pack prime cut to perfection.
Come to any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men for an award-winning haircut experience from one of our talented stylists and register for a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to win an all-expenses-paid suite for the 2024 NCAA tournament for you and 5 of your best buds. That's right, college basketball's most elite event. You and your 5 best friends just get to any Lady Jane's today for an award-winning haircut experience and automatically register to win the trip of your dreams. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's, it's wicked awesome.
Brace yourselves, Detroit. As the sun begins to set, 2 of Woodward Sports' brightest young stars will be taking the mic for a brand new show. Woodward Nights with Spooner and Broder. The dog days in Detroit are over, and the boys are unleashed. Join in on the banter and hop on the bandwagon of the #1 night show on the internet. Tune into the Woodward Sports YouTube channel every weeknight from 8 to 10 p.m. Woodward Nights with Spooner and Broder.
Hey gang, come to Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men for an award-winning haircut experience and register to win a trip of your dreams. All expenses paid for, suite to the 2024 NCAA tournament. That's right, no expense spared for you and 5 of your best buds. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, open 7 days a week. You can walk in anytime. It is wicked awesome. Speaking of the NCAA tournament, Michigan off to a hot start. They will play Rick Pitino and St. John's today.
The Johnnies, the Red Storm.
Looking for it. I'll watch that a little bit. 6. What else is on?
Is that at Chrysler?
No, it's in New York.
So it's at the Garden.
Yeah, I think is it at the Garden?
Yeah, that's their home court.
Because don't they have like a separate home court too?
No, that's their home court. They do, but they usually play at the Garden.
They play at the Garden, especially a bigger game.
That's Rick Pitino's calling card when he goes to try to get players. Hey, you get to play at Madison Square Garden. Come on over, play at the Garden.
I don't know one player on Michigan's basketball team.
Me
by the
neither.
way. Not
I
one.
hate to say it.
Not one.
I'll get to know a few of them, I guess.
We'll go.
I think this week, maybe tomorrow or Wednesday, Duke, Michigan State.
Thursday maybe.
That makes no difference to me.
Okay.
Are they playing a helicarrier this year?
I'm not sure where they're playing.
Aircraft carrier.
Let me know when they play in March or
I'll
April.
let you know. I'll get back to you.
Hey, did you see this over the weekend? Jimbo Fisher got fired.
What do you mean I'm fired?
What do you mean I'm fired? $76 million buyout.
Wow.
$76 million not to coach. Is this the greatest agent in the history of the world?
Absolutely. Abso-freaking-lutely. And now remember when we were trying to recruit Les Miles back in the day before they got Rich Rodriguez, that was a big deal breaker, was the buyout that Michigan was trying to offer based on what, like LSU's at $13 million. I think Michigan won't go as high as $7 million. But You know what's funny about this? He got a plaque when he first became the head coach at Texas A&M, and on the plaque said national champions 20, and had 2 empty spots because they were expecting him in the national championship, and then he gets fired 3 years in.
What do you mean I'm fired?
Deion Sanders to the Texas A&M Aggies.
Look, if I was a Texas A&M guy,
yes,
there's 2 guys that you go get. It's Urban Meyer or Deion Sanders, because you put the money behind either of those guys, and I'm telling you, they're going to be successful.
Did you see the bottom of this?
I did see the bottom of it, and look, I tweeted this out about Dan Campbell last night, and maybe we can talk more about this tomorrow.
Definitely.
Dan Campbell should absolutely get a contract extension today. He makes $4 million with the Detroit Lions. He could, if he wanted to leave you and nobody would bat an eye on it, he could go make $12 million a year for his alma mater.
Yeah. Lions fans would bat an eye at it.
I don't know. Well, maybe they would bat an eye at Sheila if she didn't match
Lions
that.
fans.
If she didn't match that. But there isn't anybody that's going to say, shame on you for tripling your money. And it's not like you make $100 million and you can make $130 million.
Yeah.
That's not an equivalency here. $4 million, I'm sorry to say, is not a ton of money. It's just not. Now you're talking 8, 10, 12 million.
Yeah.
Now we're talking here.
It would be a phenomenal job for him. I mean,
fans would still be pissed.
They can own that place.
They'd be pissed at the Lions. They wouldn't be pissed at Dan Campbell.
I guarantee they'd be mad at Dan Campbell because he left. They're mad at Calvin Johnson.
I hope we don't have to figure that out.
Lions fans would be pissed.
But Dan Lanning is the favorite. Oregon's head coach.
People always want to leave Oregon.
I don't know.
Oregon's a good program.
They
Why
are.
does everybody want to leave Oregon?
Because the area sucks, man. Like, you go up there, I mean, like the college itself. Like, and I'm a commentator at a track meet out there. When you go in, it's like emptiness. Then when you get onto the campus, literally it feels like they are preserved in 1968. Like, it still feels like 1968, hippies and all that. Now, when you get to Oregon, and like the campus, now he spent a lot of money on that. It looks nice. But that area, man, you got flying to this little small airport.
Eugene.
Eugene. 100%.
Nobody wants that.
Nah.
Nobody. Eugene.
It's
Nobody
quick.
wants
I bet you could live You could live great up in Oregon.
You might be.
Oregon is a place where you go get your cachet up. You win a Rose Bowl, or you have a couple 11-win season, and then you get paid to go somewhere else. Kind of like Monte Cristobal did. Like, that's the move at Oregon.
It rains a lot there,
Get
right?
some wins. Not bad, yeah.
You know who likes Oregon? Bill Walton.
Oh, that's his spot.
Portland. Smoking on that weed.
Portland.
Yeah,
Portland, Oregon.
There you go. Matt, Bray, get us out of here. I almost said Maz, get us out of here.
Good show. Today we'll have more about Michigan and what's going on with Jim Harbaugh in Ann Arbor. Tomorrow also we'll talk more about the Lions defense, because it have to be something that our boy Aaron Glenn can get those guys going. But appreciate you for tuning in. We are Edwards, Ermanni, and Maz. But guess what? Also with JB and Parker. See you later.
See you guys.